Sway. Sway.
Sway.
Sway.
In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake your body.
Wake your fuck ass up.
Crust out your eyes.
Have to be. You know, if you read my shirt.
Sway, it says Oakland, USA.
Yes, and when you think of Oakland, a few things are synonymous with Oakland. The athletics, the Warriors, pimping.
Unfortunately. MC Hammer and Too Short.
And the Raiders, okay? And we have one of the greatest players to ever grace the football field at the position that when I play Little League, I modeled myself after him and guys like Lester Haynes, okay? At cornerback, have to be. It's the one, the only Michael Haynes is here, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a big round of applause, all right?
Yes.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We talked last year.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot has happened since then, but great to see you today.
Well, I'm really happy to hear what's been going on for you, and the popularity of your show really blowing up. It's awesome.
Thank you, man. A lot of guys are coming over here now,
yeah.
right? You know, including yourself. But you were there in the beginning, you know, when nobody was coming over to us, all right? And I appreciate that. And last year we talked about how you're a cancer survivor.
Right.
You know, and how's that been going for you?
Well, you know, I'm still clean.
Okay.
So that's really good. And, you know, fortunately for me, I caught it in the early stages.
Yeah.
And that's really what my whole life is going to be about. The rest of my life is making sure other men catch it in their early stages. 1 in 6 men are going to be diagnosed with this disease. 1 in 5 African-American men.
Wow.
That's an awful lot of men.
That's about 20%.
And most of the African-American men are diagnosed with this disease have not been making it. And mainly it's because they find out in the later stages. So if you find out in stage 1, more than a 90% chance you're going to be fine.
We're talking about prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer.
Okay, how do you find out though? Like, you know, I think it's the procedure to find out that a lot of men shy away from.
Well, that's one of the things, but you know, first you got to know if it runs in your family.
Yeah.
And so like it ran in mine. My grandfather died when I was I think I was about 22.
Wow.
I didn't know that meant that I need to be on top of that I was likely to get it. So that was one. So know if it runs in your family. And the other is know some of the symptoms. And so some of the symptoms are decreased urine flow, get up in the middle of the night, feel like you have to go to the bathroom, nothing comes. But one symptom that I had that I tell people about, I'm not proud of this, all right, but if it hurts to have an orgasm, if it hurts. And so I thought it was because it had been a while. You know what I'm saying?
Painless pleasure, right?
Build up. You thought it was build
yes.
up? Okay.
You know what?
Can we talk, Heather? This is what men go through.
Okay, I want to be in that combo too.
And I'm trying to make it real for men, you know, because that's one thing that's going to get your attention.
Yeah.
Okay. And it might get your girl's attention too. And so she might say, "What's wrong?" And say, "It hurt." And you might not know that that's a symptom.
Yeah.
She might. And she goes, "Well, hey, honey, you need to go get checked, all right? You need to go see the doctor." And so that's what I try to talk about it. I try and be real about it. I don't try to talk around it.
Yeah.
I go on a lot of these radio shows, and I'm with doctors, and you know how doctors can talk, and it seems like everything's going over your head. I almost feel like they're wasting their time talking to the common guy who really needs this information. So let's make it real. So when I get a chance to talk, I'll say, "Hey, doc, did you tell people where the prostate is? Hey, doc, did you tell them what the prostate gland does?" And so the prostate gland is a gland that makes the fluid that a man's sperm travels in. Okay. And so I'm real about it. You know, I just talk about it.
Tracy,
and
you know about sperm, don't act, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's clinical right here.
Right, exactly. And that's what we're trying to be.
Okay.
And so you can live without that. You know, if you had to have your prostate removed, you can live without the prostate. Everything still works exactly the same, feels exactly the same, it's just nothing's coming out. You can still have babies because sperm live in your testicles. You just have to do it artificially. But everything else still works. You know, so let's catch it early and just still have a normal life.
What's the ideal age for a person to get tested?
Well, if it doesn't run in your family, they recommend like 55.
Okay.
Start at 55. But if it runs in your family, if you're African American, you might want to start getting a little earlier than that, because you know, the earlier you find out, it's a simple blood test. So, you know, you're just looking at your PSA levels, and so it should be going up slowly. And most men have prostate. I guarantee you, every man in this place has prostate cancer in their bodies right now. But the body's dealing with it. All right. But when the PSA level gets out of whack, that's a sign that something's going on.
Okay, let me ask you some real questions for real quick answers. Number one, does the orgasm still feel the same if you remove the prostate?
Yes.
It does?
Identical.
Okay. Number two, can blowjobs have anything to do? Like if you have excessive blowjobs, can this increase? Can this increase the chance that you may have prostate cancer?
I don't think it has anything to do with it.
Okay. All right, good. All right, we got Matt on the line.
We can move on.
Okay. All right, we got Matt on the line who's a paramedic who wants to get in on this conversation. Say hello to Michael Haynes. Matt.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
I just want to give you props, Matt, for having the conversation on Shade 45. I think it's great that other guys can talk about it. And it is a really serious topic, like you said, 1 in 5. One thing, though, is if they are having, pain or they're not having pain, I just think we shouldn't jump to conclusions.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. In all situations, it doesn't mean you have prostate cancer.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a reason you need to go see your doctor because that's not natural. That's not normal.
Does masturbation add to the possibility of increasing your chances for prostate cancer?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Good. These are good signs here. All right, Heather, go ahead.
I'm not even going down that road.
Okay.
What I do want to ask, though, you said some men can start getting tested at 55. How often after that? Is it once a year?
Yeah, it should just be normal, part of your normal physical.
Annual
and
checkup.
So if it runs in your family, you need to talk to your doctor and say, hey, it runs in my family. When should I start getting checked more often?
Okay.
And so it's a simple blood test. I didn't know that my doctor was taking that blood test from me. And so when I was at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, is where I first had this discussion about prostate cancer. I didn't know that my doctor was keeping the PSA results. So when I finally talked to him, he said, wait, looking at your chart, Mike, you have had a spike. Let's send you for a biopsy. Now, if another year had gone by, my PSA might have been higher. I might have been in stage 2 instead of stage 1. So that's why I keep saying I think I was very lucky. And, it's a slow-growing cancer. And it's usually your body is managing it, and it's not an issue. And a lot of people will say, most people will say, you will die with prostate cancer, not from prostate cancer.
Wow. What advice do you have for the women in these men's lives? Because as a man, you could possibly feel emasculated on top of just like a lot of stress for having to deal with your health deteriorating in a sense. So how should a woman comfort her man?
Same way that he should be comforting his woman when it comes to thoughts about breast cancer. Like, honey, I want you to be around a long time. Let's make sure that if, these are the things that we can catch early and it can make sure that we're going to be around, not going to change our lives too much. And so, she can ask, hey, does it run in your family? Get to know his family history.
Right.
That's really it.
Okay, we got a caller from Cincinnati, PT. You're dealing with prostate issues right now?
Right, I am. More so, what the doctor is saying is chronic prostatitis and chronic ulcerative colitis. But it started when I was 25 years old, and long story short, after an orgasm, I experienced that sharp pain, or a lot of pain in my rectum area. And ever since then, and what have you, I've been dealing with the issues.
Yeah.
Well, but see, the reason I say it because we're, as humans, I mean, how many times have you talk to people and say, I've been having this pain in my leg for 6 months and they never gone to the doctor. And then they finally go to the doctor and they find out it was something horrible.
Yeah.
And so we are used to dealing with these things. And then I'm trying to say, well, with this issue, know what the symptoms are. As soon as you start to have them, go get the advice. Go talk to your primary care doctor, who will probably send you to a urologist if it's related to having a prostate problem.
Okay. I want to ask you 2 quick questions. Oh, I know you got to go. He has to go. Michael Haynes is here, one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time. Were you at conflict, being that you played for the New England Patriots and you played for the Raiders?
Not a conflict at all.
Okay, should have been. All right. Okay. And then lastly, Richard Sherman has been making the news. Plays a wonderful cornerback player because of his passion for the sport and some of the things he said in the last playoff game. How do you feel about that? I mean, to play cornerback is I don't know, man. It's a dangerous position. At any moment, somebody can score on you, and you could be the reason that the game is lost. So usually your energy is hyper. How did you feel about the way the country reacted to what he had to say and what he had to say?
Well, when we played, we got off the field, we were in the locker room, and they let the press in 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
We didn't have a microphone in our face as we're going off the field.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different situation. there would have been plenty of times that I probably would have, I'm sure Lester would have, and a lot of great players would have said something they would have regretted later, you know? And so I like the way that he handled it. I like the way he handled it afterwards. And so, you know, he's come out and said, you know, he's sorry because it took away from his team.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great guy. I think he's a great cover guy. I'm looking forward for many, many more years of watching him play.
There it is. And Michael Haynes, man, you're my hero, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man.
Every year, man, you got a seat right here on this show, okay?
All right, thank you.
All
Appreciate
right, absolutely. He's a Raider. Los Angeles Raider, but, you know, nevertheless, he's a Raider.
Sway.
Okay, all right, okay, man.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.